Single stack 9mm carry guns are all the rage right now, so I picked one up to try it for myself. I think I might be doing this wrong. The Firestar is a single stack compact pistol that was made by Star Bonifacio Echeverria for a few short years right around the year of our Lord 1990. Now, I was born in 1990 and I can attest it was a very good year. Like most pistols made by Star, it was imported to the United States by Interarms. Unfortunately, Star went out of business in the mid-90s, as did the other Spanish gun companies Astra and Setme. This is an M-43, which is the 9mm version, but there was also the M40 in 40 Smith & Wesson and the M45 in 45 ACP. The M40 is mostly parts interchangeable with the M43, and they use the same magazines, but the 45 ACP version is chunkier to incorporate the girthier 45 auto cartridge. Star is mostly famous for making 9mm 1911 clones, and in fact, a lot of movies in the 70s and 80s use the Star Model B as a stand-in for a real 1911, because 9mm blanks were just more reliable. The Firestar design is cosmetically different from Star's earlier pistols, but underneath it's the same gun as their Model B Super, just scaled down a bit. I can talk about this more some other time, but the short version is like this. The Star Model A and Model B pistols were based on the same Browning swinging link short recoil design as John Browning's 1911. However, they were modernized not long after World War II to use a cam block short recoil design like the Browning High Power. This later design is how almost all modern guns are made, from Glocks to SIGs to XDs. The Firestar is a single-action-only, cocked-and-locked carry pistol using the same cam block design as the Model B Super. It was Star's successor to their relatively successful PD series, which were compact 1911 clones years before that was even a thing. You could get Firestars in a Starvel electroless nickel finish or a black phosphate finish, which is commonly and incorrectly referred to as blued. The Starvel finish looks dead sexy when it's in good shape, but when it starts to go, it looks like hammered shit. Firestars come in a small but very nice plastic box with the usual goodies. 2 magazines of superb quality, a little cleany-majig, and a bunch of papers and manuals about how not to shoot yourself or others with a handgun. The M43 model of the Firestar holds 7 rounds of 9mm, the M40 holds 6 rounds of 40, and the larger M45 holds 6 rounds of 45. It's a single-stack design, but the width puts it more in the vicinity of an M&P Compact or a Glock 26. I shot it side by side with a Smith & Wesson Shield, and the Firestar was noticeably FAT. Not only is it too thick, it's too damn heavy. The Firestar is small-ish, but it's a steel-framed gun. Right before Star went out of business, they introduced the M-43 Firestar Plus, which had an alloy frame and a higher capacity double-stack magazine. The Plus is a bit lighter, but even thicker. Unloaded, the Firestar M43 weighs more than a Glock 19 loaded with a full 15+1 of Hornady Critical Defense 115 grain. The Firestar clearly does not compete with modern designs. Then again, neither does a 1911, but a heavy, single-stack, single-action pistol with a manual safety is considered acceptable by some people out there. So how about the accuracy? It sucks. Actually, it doesn't suck, but I suck with it, which is the same thing, right? But seriously, forks, the Firestar does have a single-action trigger, but at least on mine, the break feels totally random. Between the vague trigger and the short sight radius, I have a hard time hitting with the Firestar. The sights have a lot of air in them, which is good for close-range snap shooting, but not precision shooting. Every once in a while, I get a good, solid group out of the Firestar, and it should be pretty good because the barrel is flared out like some kind of match-grade 1911. Middling practical accuracy isn't a deal-breaker on a 3-inch barreled compact carry piece, and the Firestar is perfectly cromulent in the defensive role. The control surfaces are all big and have good clean checkering that makes them easy to actuate, which is good because the reverse slide rails mean there's not a lot of real estate for a power stroke. Magazines are not drop-free because of friction from the magazine disconnect, but that is easily removed. The Firestar does have some other problems. It has a tiny trigger guard, and I find my gloves get stuck in the trigger and prevent it from resetting. That's not likely to be an issue in real-world applications. Also, you can't find good holsters or spare parts, so don't break it. Interestingly enough, my Firestar has never jammed. That's not an exaggeration. It's not like it's almost always reliable. I mean, it has legitimately never jammed while it has been in my possession. Now, it's possible it was fluffed and buffed and shot a million times by the previous owner, but I doubt it. I've put somewhere between 500 and 1,000 rounds through mine, and it works perfectly fine. No hesitation to go into battery, no jams, the slide always locks open. It has been literally 100% reliable. I've shot it with cheap Federal aluminum, my range ammo of choice, as well as Tula steel, really cheap Perfecta, Winchester white box, Blazer brass, PMC bronze, and a spread of different hollow points. Firestar don't care. As a counterpoint, I've been on several gun forums where the Firestar gets mentioned, usually by me, and invariably somebody mentions they used to have the .40 caliber Firestar that always jammed. Now maybe there's one guy out there who goes to all the same forums as I do that once had an M40 that was a total lemon. The stronger possibility is that the M40 wasn't as reliable as the 9mm and .45 caliber Firestars. Given what I've read, I wouldn't tell you to specifically buy the Firestar in .40. However, if you want a Firestar of your own and see an M40 for a good price, what the hell? The Firestar isn't the kind of gun you shoot to pieces anyway. And actually, my paranoia ray parts availability is probably unfounded. I'm not sure you could kill a Firestar just by shooting it regularly. So, the Firestar is a bad carry piece and probably has been since Glock introduced the 26 in 1994. It's not really a collectible either, and nobody seems to want them that badly. What the Firestar is to me is an affordable curio. I like collecting guns that slip through the cracks, especially ones that are cheap enough you can shoot them and not feel bad about it. The Firestar is nice to look at, and it's just plain fun to shoot. It's even a good pistol to introduce new shooters. It's small, it's easy to get a handle on, it's easy to shoot, recoils mildly. I'll put it in the hands of anyone who shoots with me. Everybody loves the Firestar. Would you like to know more? I wrote up a full-length article that covers the pistol and the story of Interarms in more detail. There's a link in the video description. Before they went out of business, Star also made a truly modern carry piece called the UltraStar, a polymer-framed, double-action, single-stack 9mm that we'll talk about some other time. Thank you for watching.